Θέλω να μεταφέρω την ευλογία του Σεβασμιωτάτου Μητροπολίτη μας, κ. Διονυσίου, στο συνέδριό σας, ο οποίος λόγω ανηλυμένων λειτουργικών υποχρεώσεων δεν μπορούσε να παραστεί, και τις ευχές του. Επαγαθώ τα αποτελέσματα του παρόντος συνεδρίου να βοηθήσουν την ανάπτυξη ακόμα περισσότερο της περιφερειάς Πελοποννήσου. Ευχαριστώ.
Dear all, we would like to welcome you here in this event, and we hope that this event will have the result that we expect. Thank you and good morning.
Και τώρα θα παρακαλούσα τον Δήμαρχο Λουτρακίου Αγίου Θεοδόρων και Πέρα Χώρας για έναν χαιρετισμό. I just invited the mayor of Luttraki, Aghi Theodori, and Pera Hora for a greeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Dear representatives of partner countries, ladies and gentlemen, as a mayor of Luttraki, Pera Hora, Aghi Theodori, it is my honor to welcome you to our municipality. A warm thank you to Region of Peloponnese as lead partner for choosing our destination to organize and implement the closing event of your partnership. Interreg is a tool that has shown this effectiveness and allows partners to work hard together across border to learn from good practice and carry out projects which would not be developed otherwise. I would like to thank you for your presence in our destination and congratulate you on the excellent work you have carried out over the project. Once again, a warm welcome and a great thank you.
Now, I would like to invite for a greeting the Vice Governor of Corinthia, Mr. Harilaos Vittiniotis. Καλώ στο βήμα τον κύριο Χαρίλαο Βιτινιώτη for έναν χαιρετισμό, Αντιπεριφερειάρχη Κορινθίας. Ευχαριστώ.
Στα γερμανικά τα θέλουμε.
Καλημέρα και από μένα.
Γεια σου και από εμάς.
Θέλω και εγώ να χαιρετήσω την πραγματοποίηση του τελικού Διεθνούς Συνεδρίου για το έργο EXTRA-SME του προγράμματος EXTRA Euro 14-21.
Dear all, I would like to greet you to the final EU event for the EXTRA-SME project.
Να καλωσορίσω τους εκλεκτούς καλεσμένους και ομιλητές εδώ στο Λουτράκι της Κορινθίας μας και φυσικά τον Περιφερειάρχη που από λεπτό σε λεπτό θα έρθει μαζί μας για να παρακολουθήσει το συνέδριο.
And welcome all the exceptional participants and the speakers here in Corinthia, in Luttraki city, and of course the regional governor, Mr. Nikas. He will arrive from minute to minute to deliver a speech.
Το Δήμαρχο βεβαίως που φιλοξενεί το συνέδριο Λουτρακίου Παραχώρας Αγίων Θεοδόρων.
Of course, the mayor of Luttraki that welcomes also and organizes this event here in Luttraki, in his city.
Τους θεματικούς αντιπεριφερειάρχες, τον κύριο Στάθη Αναστασόπουλο που μας ήρθε από πολύ μακριά, από τη Μεσσηνία, και τον Τάσο τον Κιολί που είναι τοπικός θεματικός αντιπεριφερειάρχης.
And the vice governors, Mr. Anastasopoulos and Mr. Giolis.
Είναι γνωστή η συμμετοχή της Περιφέρειας Πελοποννήσου ως επικεφαλής εταίρος στο πρόγραμμα, η οποία ενώνει άλλους 9 από 7 παραθαλάσσιες χώρες και έχει ιδιαίτερη σημασία.
The region of Peloponnese is the lead partner of the project that brings together 9 partners from 7 countries and
για την περιφέρειά μας, η οποία έχει πάρα πολλές υδατοκαλλιέργειες και άρα μέσα από αυτό το συνέδριο
For the region of Peloponnese, the importance of this project is significant because the aquaculture sector is high, and we hope for the following outputs today.
Θα αξιοποιηθούν οι σκοποί του, που είναι πρώτον η ενίσχυση της ανταγωνιστικότητας.
First of all, the boost of competitiveness.
Δεύτερον, οι ανταλλαγές εμπειριών.
The exchange of experience between the partners.
Η προώθηση των προϊόντων στη διεθνή και τόπια αγορά.
The promotion of the products internally and externally in the market.
Τέταρτον, η συμμετοχή στις καινοτόμες δράσεις.
The participation of the region in the innovative activities of this project.
Και το ξεκλείδωμα των 14 εκατομμυρίων ευρώ.
And the release of 14 million euro.
Της από 14 το Δεκάτου του 22 πρόσκλησης για αιτήσεις χρηματοδότησης επιχειρήσεων ΜΜΕ.
Of the last year's December call for funding of the respective SMEs.
Οι συζητήσεις για την ανάπτυξη των υδατοκαλλιεργειών έχουν αρχίσει τουλάχιστον από το 2012.
The discussion for the boost of aquaculture sector has already started since 2012.
Στην Αργολίδα και στην Κορινθία έχουν αναπτυχθεί αρκετές υδατοκαλλιέργειες με πολλές χιλιάδες τόνους.
In Argolis and Corinthia, we have too many aquaculture units with thousands of tons, mainly.
Κυρίως σε Τσιπούρα και Λαβράκι, στις ακτές και στις νησίδες του Σαρονικού κόλπου.
Mainly with gilkhead bream and bass, the Saronic Gulf coasts.
Βεβαίως υπάρχουν και διαμαρτυρίες.
Of course, there are also objections.
Που αφορούν περιβαλλοντικά ζητήματα, στις κλοπών και ακόμα και καταστροφών.
That concern of environmental issues and thefts and damages.
Για τους λόγους αυτούς χρειάζονται οι επιχειρήσεις έργα εξυγχρονισμού.
That said, the SMEs, the respective enterprises, need projects to bring them EU funding.
Και κυρίως με ευρωπαϊκές ενισχύσεις.
With EU funding.
Στην περιοχή μας, οι επιχειρήσεις αυτές είναι πάρα πολλές και αναφέρω ενδεικτικά μερικές.
We have too many SMEs of this sector, and I'm going to mention just a few.
Την Οδυσσεύς ΑΕ, την Σύριος ΑΕ,
Odysseus SA, Sirius SA,
την Επίδαυρος ΑΕ, την Πίγασος,
Επίδαυρος SA, Pegasus,
την Σολυγίας ΑΕ,
Σολυγίας SA,
την Αυλάκη ΕΠΕ,
Αυλάκη LTD,
την Αστριάλη ΑΕ,
Αστριάλη SA,
την Σοφικού ΜΕΠΕ,
Σοφικού LTD,
την Μάρε Άγνου
Mare Magnum SA,
και άλλες.
and others.
Εύχομαι καλή επιτυχία στο συνέδριο.
We hope good luck for today. Thank you.
Και τώρα θα ήθελα να παρακαλέσω τον Αντιπεριφερειάρχη πρωτογενούς και δευτερογενούς τομέα και σε θέματα αναπτυξιακών νόμων, τον κύριο Στάθη Αναστασόπουλο, να μας κάνει ένα χαιρετισμό. And last and not least, I call Mr. Stathis Anastasopoulos, who is a Vice Governor of Primary and Secondary Sector in the region of Peloponnese. Thank you.
Καλημέρα σε όλους και θέλω να καλωσορίσω και τον κύριο Δήμαρχο και τον Πανοσιολογιότατο, τον χωρικό αντιπεριφερειάρχη της Κορινθίας και τον θεματικό τον κύριο Γελή και όλους τους συμμετέχοντες σε αυτό το πρόγραμμα Interreg.
I would like myself also to welcome you all today, the participants, the vice governors, the mayor, for being here today.
Θέλω καταρχήν να συγχαρώ όλους όσους συμμετέχουν και σήμερα παρουσιάζουν το πρόγραμμα Interreg, το οποίο διενεργείται μέσα στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Σε 9 είναι οι συμμετέχοντες και αντιμετωπίζει ένα θέμα το οποίο είναι πολύ ενδιαφέρον όσον αφορά τις υδατοκαλλιέργειες και τις πολιτικές που εφαρμόζονται σε κάθε περιοχή της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης.
I would like to congratulate you all for this event, for the organization, and of course for the participation for this important project, EXTRA-SMEs, that brings all these 9 partners today here today to this event from 7 different countries to discuss for the boost of the competitiveness in aquaculture sector.
Στην περιοχή μας, στην περιφέρεια Πελοποννήσου, πιστεύω και σε όλες τις δικές σας περιοχές, αναφέρομαι στους συμμετέχοντες από άλλα μέρη της Ευρώπης, ο κλάδος της υδατοκαλλιέργειας είναι ένας δυναμικός κλάδος που βοηθάει στην απασχόληση αλλά και στην οικονομία του τόπου.
For our region, Peloponnese region, and I think that this is the same for the participating regions in this project, the aquaculture sector is a really dynamic sector with too many employments and a very important role in the finance sector of our countries.
Είμαι βέβαιος ότι τα συμπεράσματα και τα αποτελέσματα αυτού του προγράμματος θα φανούν πάρα πολύ χρήσιμα στους επιχειρηματίες σε αυτό το κλάδο και θα συμβάλλουν στην περαιτέρω ανάπτυξή τους.
I consider that the results of this project and the policy changes that we are going to see will assist the enterprises participating in this sector to have a boost and be more competitive.
Εμείς ως Περιφέρεια Πελοποννήσου θα υποστηρίξουμε στο μέτρο των δυνατοτήτων που προβλέπουν τα προγράμματά μας και ο σχεδιασμός της πολιτικής μας, θα υποστηρίξουμε αυτές τις επιχειρήσεις, διότι θεωρούμε ότι συμβάλλουν πάρα πολύ στην γενικότερη ανάπτυξη του τόπου μας.
The region itself, as the managing authority of the policies that address to this sector and to the enterprises, is going to support, assist the sector and the enterprises in order to be more competitive.
Θεωρώ ότι το πρόγραμμα αυτό θα βοηθήσει πάρα πολύ μέσω της ανταλλαγής των καλών πρακτικών και των πολιτικών που εφαρμόζονται σε κάθε περιοχή της Ευρώπης, εννοώ των περιοχών που συμμετέχουν στο πρόγραμμα. Θα συμβάλλει λοιπόν να βελτιωθούμε όλοι και όσον αφορά τις πολιτικές που ακολουθούμε και να πάρουμε τα καλύτερα από όσα υπάρχουν στην Ευρώπη ο καθένας μας, ώστε όλος αυτός ο κλάδος να ανέβει και να αναπτυχθεί ακόμη περισσότερο.
The main function of this kind of projects, the exchange of experience and the exchange of the good practices, the best practices, is the one that we consider as the most valuable, so as to follow these good practices to our regions and proceed with the respective policy changes.
Thank you for your attention. I wish to have a nice stay in Lουτράκι, to everybody who comes from out the country, and to succeed in your goals, to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, I think you had enough. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's start our conference. Our call now, this is Maria Pavlopoulou. Maria is an external expert for the region of Peloponnese. She's going to give you an overview of the EXTRA-SME's key results.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here, first of all. Before, you can hear me? Yes? Okay, perfect. So before we start with the first session, which will be a brief overview of the EXTRA-SME's projects and its main results, I would just like to say a few words on the agenda for today. So we will begin our meeting today, our event, with an overview of the project and to see what results, what we have achieved throughout this 5-year duration. Then we will have Mr. Etienne from the Joint Secretariat with us today, who will update us on the state of play of the interregional cooperation. We will then proceed with the results of the project. So we will have a representative from each partner country who will present to us the main results of the action plans. After a short break, we will have a short break after the first two presentations, and we will proceed with the main action plans and results. At approximately 1:30, 1:20, we will have a light lunch, so we'll have a short break of approximately 1 hour. We will then proceed with the second part of this conference, where we will have experts from speaking to us from the University of Patras, from DLTM, which is our advisory partner in the project. Then we will have Mr. Petri Heinima from the Natural Resources Institute in Finland, who will share with us his experience in aquaculture in Finland and the future prospects. And finally, before the second coffee break, we will proceed with a presentation from the Hellenic Aquaculture Producers Organization from Mr. Leonidas Papacharisis. After this, we will have again a second short break, and we will proceed with the final session. During this session, we will have the opportunity to discuss and share views and positions from policymakers and public authorities. More specifically, we will have the General Directorate of Rural Economy and Veterinary with us today, making a short presentation. And we have a short recap and closure with any questions and discussions that we have arisen. So I think we can begin.
Yes, yes. Now I have to invite Maria.
Now I will give the presentation of the project. So to start today's session, let's take a brief overview of the EXTRA-SME's project, its principal aims, what were its envisioned results throughout its 5-year duration from 2018 until today. So, how did the idea of the project begin back in 2018? Well, beginning with the purpose of the project, actually what we can say is that aquaculture in Europe is a rapidly growing sector. On the one hand, we have the European global production, which is growing at an extremely fast rate, approximately 5-7% per year since the year 2000. And then secondly, we have on the other hand the EU overall output, which has remained overall constant throughout the past years. Nevertheless, the aquaculture sector in Europe is one that accounts for approximately 85,000 jobs, so it is a fast-growing and fast-developing sector. It is renowned, of course, for its very high quality of production throughout Europe. And it is also a sector that is mainly composed of small or medium enterprises. So more than 90% of these companies can be said to be SMEs. So moving on. Moving on, we see what were the actual growth challenges that most of the SMEs in Europe are facing and that this project is trying to address. Well, first of all, the EU SMEs in the aquaculture sector face and have faced for a long time international competition from the world's regions, including from the Asian market, amongst others. And it is an industry which is subject, for example, there are industries which are subject to lower regulatory requirements. These actually lower regulatory requirements that are present in other European countries, countries across the globe, are at the heart of the conflict of production of the EU aquaculture, which is known, as I previously said, for its high quality, and this is actually the basis for its competitive advantage. Thirdly, improving competitiveness actually requires a lot of planning, the involvement of many actors throughout the supply chain, and the organization and planning at a regional level, which is often a challenge. So, moving on to the EXTRA-SMEs, it had three main objectives. First of all, its purpose was to improve the implementation of SME competitiveness policies across the value chain of coastal and rural economies in Europe, with the participating countries, which have a strong aquaculture component. Secondly, the purpose was to identify and promote experience and practices between the partners for simpler and approved administrative processes, internationalization, and to expand to broader markets, as well as engaging in innovation processes that will act as drivers for the creation of new employment opportunities. Thirdly, the purpose of the project was to allow public authorities to share practices and exchange experiences directly throughout this 5-year program. So, more specifically, we can say that the project objectives were mainly three. The first one was actually to increase the capacity of authorities to effectively implement policies on SMEs, interpretal development, internationalization, and also extraversion. Secondly, we can say to identify innovative pathways and raise awareness on the benefits of modernization of the aquaculture sector and its value chain. And thirdly, we can say that to incentivize investment and outward-looking entrepreneurship was another objective of this project. So here we have just a few facts and figures, general facts and figures on the project. The EXTRA-SMEs project, as you all know, was financed with the Inter-Europe program and specifically with its specific objective 2.1, which was improving SMEs' competitiveness policies. It began on the 1st of June back in 2018 and is going to end now on the 31st of May 2023. So its duration was actually 60 months in total. The first phase where all the activities, research activities took place was completed after 3 years. And now we are actually in the second phase of the project, which is the monitoring phase, and which we are monitoring the implementation of the action plans. So approximately its total funding from the ERDF was approximately 1.7 million euros. And also it is a co-financed project, which means that it is co-financed by the ERDF, but also from national funding sources. So who was the EXTRA-SMEs partnership? Who does it consist of? As we previously said, 9 participating partners from 7 EU countries with a strong aquaculture component. We have 2 Italian partners, the region of Liguria and our advisory partner, DLTM, which is also here with us today virtually. We have, of course, 2 Greek partners, the region of Peloponnese as a lead partner and the University of Patras. Then we have our Polish partner, the Northern Chamber of Commerce in, excuse my pronunciation if I don't say it correct, but Szczecin in Poland. Then we have the Lapland University of Applied Sciences from Finland, the Western Development Commission from Ireland, and also the Public Institution of National Regions Development Agency from Lithuania. So we cover across geographical space, across Europe, which is very important in order to disseminate the results as much as possible across the European land. So here we have which policy instruments were actually addressed. From the 9 participating countries, we had 8 policy instruments which were aimed to be addressed throughout the duration of this project. Actually, we also had 3 of the participating partners are also managing authorities of the policy instruments. So here you can see them in detail. And now we can proceed to the desired impact of the project itself. So the desired impact, what it envisioned to establish at the beginning of the project, was to increase the capacity of at least 200 staff of public administrations to effectively support SME competitiveness. Secondly, it was to unlock a significant amount of financial support for projects on the modernization on the wider network of the aquaculture sector in Europe. And thirdly, to increase awareness and consensus building among the wider aquaculture sector, the workforce and the citizens across EU overall. So how did we work throughout this 5-year duration of the project? We worked we had a very successful and good cooperation between the partners, which is something that led to good results and research activities which were carried out. So first of all, we had the thematic areas which we covered through the methodology, the research activities that were carried out in the beginning of the project. We had public consultations, meetings, stakeholder meetings, and policy briefs, which actually contributed significantly to the dissemination of the project results. And this all led to a significant amount of exchange of experience between the partners and beyond, and an improvement in knowledge, and development of the action plans that we will see further today in detail presented by the partners themselves. So, if we just have a brief recap of the research activities that took place, from the beginning of the first semester to the end of the phase 1, we developed and disseminated 4 main reports. The first one was a comparative analysis of the regulatory framework applicable to licensing and operations of EXTRA-SMEs economic operators. The second one was a report on regional conditions and trends for new product development. The third one was a good practice guide, which actually focused on raising EXTRA-SMEs economic sector's potential. And the fourth one was a report which summarized the hindering factors of EXTRA-SMEs internationalization and extraversion. Now moving on to the exchange of experience activities, which were divided in 2 main categories. The first one was the workshops that we conducted, and the second one was the site visits, which actually happened in parallel with the workshops. Of course, the activities were affected by the pandemic, and unfortunately, some of them were held online in the end. However, we still managed to complete all the activities of phase 1, which was actually a great achievement for all of us. So the first activity, which workshop actually, was organized by our Irish partner back in 2019. And it focused on the interregional workshop on adopting simplified administrative procedures. From then on, most of them were held online. The second one, which we refer here, was the workshop on promoting relevant EU labels among EXTRA-SMEs, which was held online in November 2021, and it was a cooperation between the region of Peloponnese, the lead partner, and the University of Patras. And the third one, which was organized by our advisory partner, DLTM, was an interregional workshop on managing stakeholders' conflicts of interest. Moving on to the last workshop, which was again held online by our Romanian partner, focused on the expertise and skills required for public administration staff. Additionally, we had also 2 study visits which took place. One of them, again, back in 2019, so we managed to hold it with physical presence. This one was organized by our Polish partner, and it focused on internationalization and extraversion improvement. And the second one was held online in the middle of 2021 during the pandemic, which focused on the internationalization and extraversion improvement as well. So moving on to the final dissemination, the final event of the first phase was actually the organization of a symposium on sustainable aquaculture. Here we had the region of Liguria, which was the hosting organization, but again, once again, this event was held online with the participation of all of you and our regional stakeholders as well. And the e-policy learning platform was focused on boosting coastal and rural regional economies with a strong aquaculture component. Throughout this exchange of experience activities, the partners managed to identify certain good practices, which were then reported and included in our progress reports. So overall, the partners managed to identify 13 good practices which were approved during the course of the project, and 3 of them are published also in the Policy Learning Platform webpage. So here we just have a few of them, including some from the Liguria region, some from the region of Western Greece, and one from Romania as well. As far as the project management activities are concerned, we also cooperated together and through the organization of steering group meetings, which happened once every semester. So back in 2018, we met for the first time in Tripoli in order to kickstart our project. From the second project meeting was actually held in Ireland in 2019, the next one in Finland, and from then on we had also 3 steering group meetings which were held online and which unfortunately did not allow us to travel and to see each other with physical presence. However, we still managed to complete all our tasks and activities as foreseen. So, moving on to the dissemination events, one very important aspect of this program is also to disseminate the result beyond the partnership within the aquaculture sector of each respective country. So once each partner organization also organized one information day at the end of phase 1. There were constant stakeholder group meetings, one every semester from each partner country, in order to disseminate the main results that were developed in the specific semester, and online campaigns as well, through which we disseminated the 13 policy briefs that we developed on the lessons learned that were actually developed and were concluded through the project activities each semester. Additionally, the partners also participated either online or with physical presence in physical third-party events. So the project was also presented in respective conferences and meetings of other organizations which were relevant with the thematic content. So here we come to the end of the project, we come to the development of the action plans and how we will influence the policy instrument address. So for this purpose, each partner country has developed an action plan which includes the actions and the foreseen next steps on how this will actually take place. I will not go into detail for each one because we will have the opportunity in the next sessions actually to hear more about this from the respective partners. So here you can see the key points of each action plan. But I will leave it up to the experts to proceed with the next sessions and to tell us more about their experience and results of the project overall. So that's it from me, in case you have any questions. No?
Thank you, Maria. Okay, and now if there are no questions, I would like to ask from the Joint Secretariat to come and inform us on the state of play of the interregional cooperation.
Thank you. Kalimera, good morning to you all. So it's a pleasure to be here today in Luttraki. And it's always the easy part for me, representing the funding organism, just to go at the end and see all the results that Maria already started to present, and more to come in the coming hours today. So really looking forward to hearing more and more about what you guys have been doing for the past years. So, the content of the presentation today is quite short. The idea is to give an overview of what Interreg Europe is about, especially for the people in the room that might not be fully aware of what it is yet. Then have a closer look at EXTRA-SMEs and the results that have been achieved so far. But again, I hear there's going to be a lot of them presented later today. And then give you as well a couple of ideas and elements on the next programming period and the next proposition that Interreg Europe can give you in terms of funding for new projects in the years to come. So first, where do we stay at in terms of interregional cooperation projects, such as EXTRA-SMEs? So as you know, we had 4 calls for project funding in the past years, and we invested 322 million euros in 258 projects, covering most of the regions of the EU, plus Norway and Switzerland, meaning that 90% of the region participate in a way or another in an Interreg Europe project. There's a lot of achievement with very high figures, and of course EXTRA-SMEs contributed to these very high figures. We have more than 5,000 good practices that are uploaded on our database of good practices. Almost 1,500 action plans, and almost 20,000 people, staff, that declared that thanks to their participation in an Interreg Europe project, they managed to have their skills improved. So it's really here touching the core of what an Interreg Europe project is about really about this section of experience and making sure that people all over Europe actually can better work and can better achieve what they are supposed to achieve in their own respective organizations. And all of these improvements of the skills of each personal staff led to more than 900 policy changes, so really changing the policy framework at the regional level, with 1.3 billion euros that have been influenced, again, in a way or another, thanks to the participation of the partners in an Interreg Europe project, which is really impressive. That means that when we invest €1 in an Interreg Europe project, there's at the end of the day €5 that are changed, that are better directed, that are answering better the needs of the regional stakeholders. So that's really a good leverage effect that we can see from Interreg Europe projects. A few words about EXTRA-SMEs itself, but a lot has been said already by Maria. So it's one of the 66 projects that is dealing with SMEs competitiveness. And it's the only one actually that is specifically dealing with aquaculture. We have 24 other projects that are dealing with support to specific economic sector, like textile or creative industries, but aquaculture is the only one. So, well, congrats. It's very innovative in this sense. As you can see, but again, Maria said a lot, you organized a lot of events, you participated as well to some webinars and tried to disseminate a little bit further what you learned in the project to other projects as well, working in blue economy related fields. So congrats for this as well. Few words now about what's coming next, because they still offer for regional administrations, for public authorities or non-private everywhere in Europe to still continue their interregional collaboration in the coming years. So for the new program for the years to come, for 2021-2027, so we already have a budget of about 380 million euros. 29 countries involved, so all EU member states plus Norway and Switzerland. But now we change a little bit. We have just one priority, which is capacity building, which gives more space for projects to tackle a lot of different topics. So to say in a few words, we will still offer basically the same kind of program and the same kind of support. It's still going to be focused on regional policies improvement, so still very much policy focused, and still through capacity building activities, the workshops that were mentioned, the study visits, so we still stay in the same kind of framework. So it's very much dedicated to policymakers as the finishing interregional program, and still very much focusing on the exchange of experience. As I was saying, it's a bit different now. We used to finance only 4 specific objectives. Now we finance all objectives of the cohesion policy, meaning smarter Europe, greener Europe, more connected Europe, which is more about transport, social Europe, including labor, for example, citizens, so the better improvement of citizens in the deciding processes in Europe, and as well a specific objective on governance. So here I think it gives a lot more potential for projects, for local authorities in Europe to actually find a project that specifically addresses the very specific needs. The program would work still on these 2 pillars that we already experimented in the previous programming period, which is one, the project, so we fund projects like EXTRA-SMEs to help partners to discuss between themselves and to reach results. And we also have this specific support tool, which is a policy learning platform offering additional support for local authorities in Europe. In a nutshell, what we provide through this platform is different kind of tools, different kind of activities. You don't need to be a part of a project to benefit from them. So you can connect between people all over Europe, you can attend workshops, and you can also benefit from an interesting service, which is a peer review. So you write in 2 pages what is your need as a local administration, you send it online, and then there's a team of experts that is coming to your organization, in your offices, to help you tackle in 2 days, give you a couple of first answers to the issue you may have. So it's kind of project, but condensed, not in 4 years, but just in 2 days. A few words about the calls, so the funding available for the years to come. So we already had a first call that was organized last year. It closed on the 31st of May, and we gave the results of the call late last year in December 2022, sorry. So we had 134 project proposals, and half of them were finally approved. What we learned, and some elements to consider if you plan to apply for the next call, is to make sure to always involve the policy responsible authority in the project, either as a partner or as an associated authority. What is important as well is to fully describe, that's really what we need when we assess the different project proposals, to describe the state of play at the regional level to make sure that this project is actually relevant for your region, and to as well make sure that the project you have in mind is actually very different from other projects that have been funded, so that the innovative character is really clear, and that if it's a follower project, then you clearly take another angle, maybe with other partners, so that's really different that we don't finance again and again the same project. So, as I was saying, there's a first call that was closed. There's a new one opening very soon, the 15th of March in Stockholm. You are all invited to join us in Stockholm for the opening of this second call, and to connect as well with potential partners and to try to find new topics. We already had some online networking events last year to start to help to connect people. And we will have additional services that will be open in the coming months. So as already, you can already submit online your project ID to start to see if some other partners everywhere in Europe can be interested by this. And as soon as the call will be open, so as the 15th of March, You can as well ask for feedback, so if you have a specific idea, you can send us an email through the website. There's a specific form, and then we will give you a feedback and say if it's in line with what we would expect as a program or not, and how you could better fine-tune it. There's a lot of information already available on the program website, but of course we stay available with my colleague in Lille if you have any question on this new call and how we could further support interregional cooperation in the coming years. Thank you very much. I stay available either now or later during a coffee break for any question you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Etienne, and thank you also for supporting our project, advise us throughout the project duration. It's a very valuable cooperation that we have, and thank you very much on behalf of all the partnership. Thank you. If there are no questions, I suppose that there are not, so we will start with the presentation of the action plans that have been developed during our project. So the first one, I would like to ask Mrs. Ioanna Lavropoulou from the region of Peloponnese to give us some details for the region of Peloponnese action plan, the impact and the problems encountered.
Okay, thank you, Vasiliki. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'd like to welcome you also to our conference. And I will present the action plan for aquaculture small media enterprises in Peloponnese, which is drafted in the framework of the EXTRA-SME project. We will talk about the impact and also the problems encountered. In my presentation, we will see the priorities of the region of Peloponnese for the new programming period 2021-2027, the purpose of the action plan and the two actions that we propose. Action 1 for a sustainable scheme for regional aquaculture small medium enterprises, including the description of the action, the involved players and the funding sources. The action 2, which involves an innovative platform for fisheries, aquaculture and marine SMEs, including the action description, the involved players and the funding sources. And also we will present the challenges encountered and the next steps to follow. So about the priorities for 2021-2027 in the region of Peloponnese, they are based on the EU cohesion policy priorities, and they consist of the policy objectives. The policy objective 1 for a smarter Europe through the promotion of innovative and smart economic transformation. The policy objective 2 for a greener, low carbon and resilient Europe. Policy objective 3 for a more connected Europe through enhanced mobility and regional interconnections and infrastructures. Policy objective 4 for a more social Europe throughout the implementation of the European Pillar of Social Rights. And the policy objective 5 for a Europe closer to its citizens. Sorry. Okay. The purpose of our action plan. Our action plan has been validated in December 2021 by the region of Peloponnese, and the scope was to influence the regional policy instrument and improve support for new aquaculture projects in the areas of interventions which boost productivity, entrepreneurship and innovation, the development of competitive new products, the promotion of local products both nationally and internationally, the introduction and familiarization of enterprises to foreign and international market structures and procedures, and the promotion of e-business and other technological innovation. The time frame for the implementation meant to be October 2021 to May 2023. About Action 1 now, the Sustainable Scheme for Regional Aquaculture Small Medium Enterprises. The region of Peloponnese intends to create a scheme to promote the sustainable growth of output, value, extraversion and employment in the aquaculture sector. The scheme focuses mainly on scale-up of aquaculture enterprises to improve their competitiveness and efficiency, the diversification into new species, more farming of underutilized species, and the promotion of organic aquaculture. Incorporated in the Regional Operational Program 2021 and 2027, under which the region of Peloponnese will proceed with open calls for funding aquaculture small-medium enterprises in order to promote marketing, quality and added value of fishery and aquaculture products and processing of these products. Specific actions proposed by region of Peloponnese which are relevant to this scheme and may be progressed with support from this scheme are enhancing the competitiveness and resilience of aquaculture with establishment of new or expansion or modernization of existing units, with development and introduction of innovation in production, with introduction of new species and other actions. The promotion of sustainable aquaculture practices and action for environmental protection with energy efficiency, reduction of plastic use, waste management efficiency and others. Improving the conditions for the promotion and marketing of fishery products and aquaculture. Encourage investments in the processing of fishery products and aquaculture with new projects, new management, capitalization of sub-products, and strengthening the creation of business clusters of companies, create economies of scale, reduce business operating, processing and production and promotion costs. In this action, involved players can be public bodies, aquaculture small-medium enterprises, collective bodies, associations, organizations, providers of consulting, education and training services, management bodies of fisheries, aquaculture and processing fund, management of fisheries and maritime operational program, the Ministry of Agriculture, Development and Food, and others. Funding sources will be the funds, the Fishery, Aquaculture and Processing Fund, and also can be the Regional Operational Program of Peloponnese Region. About Action 2 now, which is the innovative platform for fisheries, aquaculture and marine small-medium enterprises, we suggest to create a digital innovation platform addressing to the aquaculture enterprises and relevant stakeholders. We can give access to the users to numerous studies and researches on innovative aquaculture schemes, provide human resource training and development services, develop of business link, creation of synergies between aquaculture enterprises, promoting technological cooperation, helping aquaculture enterprises with marketing-related issues and others. The platform will have a direct link with Action 1. Users can find all the new funding calls with detailed information of eligibility criteria, etc., and with the possibility to submit their applications directly through the platform system. We will create a new dynamic in the aquaculture sector, enhancing the competitiveness and resilience of aquaculture small-medium enterprises regionally and nationally. For these actions, involved players should be research institutes and national universities, public bodies, aquaculture small-medium enterprises, collective bodies, providers of consulting, management bodies of funds, the Hellenic Ministry, Hellenic Center for Marine Research, and funding sources as well the funds of Fishery Fund and Regional Fund. During the drafting of the action plan, two major challenges encountered regards the availability of the funds. One was the shift from the policy instrument addressed, the Region of Peloponnese program of 2014-2020, to the new territorial policy instrument 2021-2027, which coincided with the original timeline of the action plan and created a funding gap, let's say. Also funding of the actions was put to hold to prioritize financial subsidies and emergency support measures to regional businesses during to COVID-19. Most of the funds at this period from regional programs as well as national programs were directed to businesses with problems due to COVID. So for the next steps, we are to secure that the actions envisioned by the action plan will be implemented in the region. For that, we are in consultation with the managing authority of the Interreg program for the new programming period, for the actions to be funded from the new programming period. And we are has ensured that the relevant provisions described in the action plan will be integrated in the new programming period and the regional funds of 21-27, either from regional program or from the Fisheries, Aquaculture and Marine Small Media Enterprises program. So, thank you for your attention. I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ioanna. Any questions? Okay. Thank you. We will proceed with the second presentation of the action plan of the region Liguria from Mrs. Margarita Bruneghi. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Margarita Bruneghi, and I work for Regione Liguria, which is a region in the northwest part of Italy, for those who know him. Okay, so I will go briefly into two actions that was foreseen from the project that we actually put in practice in the last 2 years. The first one is the organization of one international event for SMEs and local actors, and the second one is the policy instrument. At the beginning of the project, the policy instrument was the regional operational program, but at the middle of the project we have seen that this would not be the best one for the project, so we switch to the fund for agriculture. So the event was really a success for us because there were 44 people from different countries, and we have many people from the south shore of the Mediterranean, from Algeria. Oh, excuse me. Oh.
Sorry for this. It's okay, Margarita.
And from Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, and Belgium. We have many people from there. We have it has been held in a hybrid way, both in presence and online. In Regione Liguria, we started last year to, organize some new events in presence, other than online. And it has been composed in 2 sessions. The first one regarding the EU objectives. So where are we going to? Where are we heading to in aquaculture? We had experts from the European Union and the Italian Ministry. And then we had a very nice roundtable among participants. And there were a lot of public authorities, but also research centers, both national and international, and a lot of SMEs. The second actions was, the day following the event, we organized a site visits for all the participants to 2 of our most mussel farms in Lerici, in La Spezia. It was a pity that, as Maria said before, we had not the chance to meet in presence in Italy, because one of our aim is to show the partners of this project our farming. And I think that the best way of working in an Interreg Europe program is to confront, and to bring stakeholders all around Europe to see other places and other way of working. So we tried to do so by inviting people. This is a small video of the first farm. No. This one is a video, yes. This is sustainable fish farming facilities in Lavagna, who is led by a woman, the first woman in Liguria who is leading fish farming. So this is an important goal towards the real sustainability of blue economy, the entrance of women in a male-dominated sector as blue economy. And this is another farm in Lavagna. We have visited either the farm in water, then where they set the fish. This is another video. We were on a boat with the guests. And she is the owner of the farm, And many ladies are joining the group, many biologists, so, increasing number of women. What is the impact? We measure what we do in European project with the impact they have on the territories. So the impact of this first action is, first of all, we created not only a local community, but we started creating an international community among participants. We had some hints for possible future cooperation, especially with the south shore of the Mediterranean, because they're very good on oysters, and we are just at the beginning, so maybe we can arrange a visit, in the years coming with the funds. Of course, given the fact that we have the research center, every time we organize a meeting, we have all the time the research center presence, the university and the CNR, because in Liguria we think that one of the aims of the public authority is to keep in contact among SMEs and the research and innovation sector, so that they can create a link and improve the work of both. And of course, the good practices shared is one of the impact. The second action plan, the second action in the action plans we had was our policy instrument that I've said before. We changed it from regional operation program to the EMFFF because it has been more suitable for this kind of project. So we gave money to invest towards sustainability aquaculture, sustainable aquaculture. We know that the transition to sustainability is made of investments and public investments. So in Regione Liguria we are boosting in a way on sustainability, and so we gave them money to, you know, we have more requests than money. And they ameliorate boats, plants. One of them completely cover with solar panel the plant. And we also, as in the region of Peloponnese, invest in fish tourism and in new species as well. So we are very satisfied about the projects in our, you know, in our participation to this project and on the effect that it has on the community of aquaculture SMEs. We have some money left, so we added a small action and we updated and restamped the mariculture map of Liguria. I gave a copy to each partner today because this, for us, is the best way to use public money to increase, you know, to give to any possible new entrepreneur the, you know, a clear idea of what is possible and where in Liguria. So, what is the final impact of the project in our region for us? I mean, when you join a new project at the beginning, you don't know exactly what you're going to do. You have, you know, a proposal that maybe you have not written. And so you start with a new group of colleagues you don't know. And at the end, you just sum up what you have done for 5 years. You know, 5 years is a lot of time. We met in 2018 the first time. So we are quite satisfied with this project. It was the first one in Regione Liguria for Interreg Europe, which is a different program of the territorial cooperation. It's very different from the others. We are part of 7 Interreg programs, but this is the more difficult but the more challenging. And this program have a direct effect on the policies. So our impact can be summarized as follows. So we have created a local community, I don't know how to call it, exchange table, round table among stakeholders, as I say, from public administration, SMEs, research centers. By creating an open dialogue, they know that if they have any problem, they can call us and we can talk about that. We have a very big problem now due to licensing. I'll go for it in a minute. So we are debating a lot and they know that they can debate with us. As I said before, the access from SMEs to research centers and innovations. Innovations comes from research and they are useful if they are used in practice, not in books. We shared analysis of the situation and the bottlenecks we faced and proposal for the new idea. So what are the great bottlenecks in Liguria now? We have not a long way to give permissions, but the licensing, the final act of the licensing is for municipalities. And we are facing a lot of problems now, more than when we started, because of the different interests of municipalities from aquaculture to other activities. So this is one of our main problem now we're facing in Liguria. We have problems in new space for competition with other activities, you know. We are not a very large region, but it is all on the sea. So the map clarifies very much what we can do and where, okay. And we would like to diversify the production that is still stuck on some species. So what are we going to do? What are possible next actions? We can, for sure, we need to create an awareness campaign on people to aquaculture, because there is a misperception of aquaculture fish in our region. We need to revise the licensing procedure, because now, in fact, they are blocked. And we can do, with the funds, the MFFA funds, new policy action to change the situation. So, thank you very much.
Με συγχωρέσετε και διακοπή. Παρακαλώ πολύ, θα κάνουμε ένα μικρό διάλειμμα μετά το χειρισμό του κύριου Περιφερειάρχη και θα συνεχίσουμε το πρόγραμμά μας. Θα ήθελα να παρακαλέσω τον κύριο Περιφερειάρχη, τον κύριο Παναγιώτη Νίκα, τον Περιφερειάρχη Πελοποννήσου, για έναν χαιρετισμό. I would like to invite now to the stand the governor of the region of Peloponnese for a greeting.
Να το ρε ο Νίκας.
Κύριε Συμμοναριότατε, κύριοι αντιπεριφερειάρχες, περιφερειακοί σύμβουλοι, κυρίες και κύριοι, καλή σας μέρα και χρόνια πολλά εύχομαι μέσα από την καρδιά μου προς όλους και καλώς ήρθατε στην Ελλάδα, οι φιλοξενούμενοι από τις 6 χώρες.
Dear all, dear representatives of the vice governors and participants, I welcome you all. Good morning to all. Welcome to Greece, and I hope you have a good stay.
Ξέρω ότι η σημερινή συνάντηση είναι η τελευταία στο συγκεκριμένο ευρωπαϊκό πρόγραμμα και εύχομαι να έχουμε γίνει όλοι σοφότεροι, οι μετέχοντες και στις 7 χώρες και τα πρακτικά αποτελέσματα να είναι συγκεκριμένα ώστε να βελτιώσουμε την απόδοση της συγκεκριμένης δράσης.
Given that this is the final event of this project, I hope that we learned, all the participating organizations from this project, and we have tangible outputs that will improve the competitiveness.
Και το συγκεκριμένο πρόγραμμα υπηρετεί το βασικό σκοπό της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, στην οποία έχουμε την τιμή να μετέχουμε όλοι μας και οι 7 χώρες, που είναι να ανταλλάσσουμε εμπειρίες και δόκιμες πρακτικές, ώστε σε συγκεκριμένες δράσεις να έχουμε τα καλύτερα δυνατά αποτελέσματα με την ανταλλαγή εμπειριών.
Given that this is a part of a European Union program project, the exchange of experience is the most important key, and we hope that it was successful among the 7 countries and the 9 participating partners.
Δεν ξέρω ακριβώς το τι είπαν οι υπηρεσίες μας, αλλά εγώ θέλω να μιλήσω από πολιτική άποψη για το τι έχω διαπιστώσει όσον αφορά στην ιχθυοκαλλιέργεια στην πατρίδα μας.
Without knowing what my colleagues previously said, I would like to say today here the policy aspect of the aquaculture sector here in Greece.
Βεβαίως είναι γνώστες πολύ καλύτερα από μένα ο αντιπεριφερειάρχης του πρωτογενούς τομέα, ο κ. Αναστασόπουλος, ο οποίος είναι παρόν και μπορεί να μιλήσει εξειδικευμένα και λόγω της ειδικότητάς του και επίσης και ο Γενικός Διευθυντής Πρωτογενούς Τομέα, στον οποίο ανήκει και η Αγία, ο οποίος επίσης μπορεί δόκιμα να αναφερθεί στη συγκεκριμένη δράση. Ο κ. Μητρόπουλος.
Of course, here are the real experts, the Vice Governor, Mr. Anastasopoulos of the primary sector, and Mr. Mitropoulos, of course. We are the real experts of the sector to share their view and opinion.
Η γενική διαπίστωση είναι ότι τα αλλιεύματα από τη θάλασσα δεν επαρκούν για να καλύψουν τις συνεχώς αυξανόμενες ανάγκες.
The important thing is that the free fishing from the sea isn't enough to cover the need from the request from the market.
Επομένως, τα ιχθυοτροφία καλύπτουν τις ανάγκες σε αλλιεύματα, δίνουν τροφή ποιότητας νομίσου και βεβαίως βοηθούν και από περιβαλλοντική άποψη, διότι αν δεν τα είχαμε, θα είχαμε καταστρέψει την πανίδα στη θάλασσα κυριολεκτικά.
So the aquaculture sector comes to cover this need and provide to the citizens, to the market, quality food and cover the need with an environmental friendly way.
Η τεχνογνωσία στην πατρίδα μας δίνεται είτε από την σχολή, νομίζω έχει γίνει πανεπιστημιακή τώρα, της ιχθυολογίας στο Μεσολόγγι και από μεταπτυχιακά τμήματα διαφόρων σχολών, ιδιαίτερα αυτές που ασχολούνται με τον πρωτογενή τομέα.
Of course, the know-how here in Greece is a specific department in the universities in Mesologi, so we have experts also to board new in Greece.
Λοιπόν, και τώρα θα σας πω για τα προβλήματα τα οποία έχω διαπιστώσει εγώ στα χρόνια που ασχολούμαι με την περιφερειακή διοίκηση, είτε των Δήμων είτε της περιφέρειας. Το πρώτο θέμα, νομίζω, το οποίο έχουμε εδώ στην Ελλάδα, είναι η επάρκεια και η τεχνογνωσία όσον αφορά στις υπηρεσίες μας.
And now I will mention from my experience in so many years in the policy part, the main problems related to the sector. The first one is that we don't have so much know-how on this sector.
Δηλαδή, στην Πελοπόννησο, όπου έχουμε το μεγαλύτερο ποσοστό ιχθυοκαλλιέργειας, η Κορινθία είναι πρώτη, ο νομός στον οποίο βρισκόμαστε. Δεύτερη είναι ο νομός ανατολικά μας, η Αργολίδα, και τρίτη είναι ο νομός μας νότια, η Αρκαδία. Το σύνολο των υπηρετούντων υπαλλήλων στα τμήματα αλίας δεν πρέπει να ξεπερνούν τους 3 με 4. Για όλους τους νομούς, καταλαβαίνετε, η περιοχή η οποία έχει τη μεγαλύτερη ιχθυοκαλλιέργεια δεν έχει την υποστήριξη από το επιστημονικό προσωπικό που απαιτούνται. Και αυτό είναι μια διαπίστωση, θεωρώ, άσχημη και δεν μπορεί να βοηθήσει όσο θα έπρεπε τον ιδιωτικό τομέα, ο οποίος πράγματι τα πηγαίνει πολύ καλά.
Here we are in Peloponnese. Peloponnese is one of the 3 regions of Greece with the most active aquaculture sector. Here in Corinthia is the first prefecture of the region, and then Argolis and Arcadia. These are the 3 top prefectures that have the most active aquaculture farm. But you can imagine we have only 3 to 4 staff members, experienced members for this sector to support the citizens and the entrepreneurs.
Και όταν λέω ότι ο ιδιωτικός τομέας θα πηγαίνει πολύ καλά, αναφέρομαι σε εξαγωγές εκατοντάδων εκατομμυρίων ευρώ που γίνονται από την Ελλάδα προς χώρες κυρίως της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, και επομένως το πρώτο ζήτημα είναι το κράτος να υποστηρίξει δια των υπηρεσιών του όσο περισσότερα μπορεί. Τώρα δεν το κάνει, θα πω και παρακάτω μερικά μερικά λόγια για να βοηθήσει την αύξηση του εθνικού πλούτου.
On the other hand, the private sector of the aquaculture is really high and competitive, and we have many large amount with millions of export related to this private sector, and we need to support them as public administrations.
Το δεύτερο θέμα το οποίο θέλω να θίξω είναι η αναγκαιότητα για την πατρίδα μας. Δεν άκουσα για τη Λιγουρία προηγουμένως αν υπόθηκε κάτι. Είναι η ακριβής χωροθέτηση των περιοχών που μπορούν να εγκατασταθούν ιχθυοκαλλιέργειες. Είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό θέμα αυτό. Είμαστε, νομίζω, η 5η χώρα στον κόσμο σε ακτογραμμή. Καταλαβαίνετε τι σημαντικές προοπτικές υπάρχουν για την ανάπτυξη της ιχθυοκαλλιέργειας.
Another really important thing, and I think that we heard previously from our partner from Liguria that they face the same issue, is the licensing process and the establishment of these aquaculture farms. So we need to work on this also.
Επίσης είμαστε μια χώρα όμως η οποία αναπτύσσεται τουριστικά. Και αυτή η ανάπτυξη τουριστική φέρνει πολύ συχνά σε σύγκρουση μια εγκατάσταση ιχθυοκαλλιέργειας με την προοπτική της τουριστικής ανάπτυξης. Και αυτό δείχνει το πόσο γρήγορα πρέπει να προχωρήσουμε σε ακριβή χωροθέτηση ιχθυοκαλλιέργειας και μάλιστα σε περιοχές οι οποίες δεν έχουν καμία πιθανότητα τουριστικής ανάπτυξης.
In addition, the Peloponnese region is one of the major tourism regions in Greece. So the tourism sector conflicts with the aquaculture sector. So the need to proceed directly and quickly with the licensing and the establishment of the aquaculture farms is really, really important.
Και το τελευταίο που θέλω να σας πω, για να μην σας κουράσω άλλο, αγαπητέ Νίκο, είναι το περιβαλλοντικό ζήτημα ή η αντίληψη ότι υπάρχει περιβαλλοντικό ζήτημα. Όταν ήμουνα δήμαρχος παλιότερα, ίσως το θυμάται και ο Στάθης, στην Νότια Πελοπόννησο, έγινε μια προσπάθεια εγκατάστασης ιχθυοκαλλιέργειας ανατολικά της πόλης της Καλαμάτας. Ξεσηκώθηκε όλος ο κόσμος, όπως ξεσηκώνονται και σε άλλες περιοχές, να μην τις ονοματίσω, και εδώ στην Κορινθία έχουμε προβλήματα και στην Αργολίδα, ενώ ρητορίες, αγορεύσεις για την εκδίωξη ιχθυοκαλλιεργειών δεν τα πάμε ιδιαίτερα στην Ελλάδα, δεν είναι καθόλου εύκολα με τα περιβαλλοντικά ζητήματα. Έχουμε συγκρούσεις τέτοιες που μπορεί να τις επιλύσει μόνο η ακριβής χωροθέτηση των περιοχών όπου μπορεί να εγκατασταθεί η ιχθυοκαλλιέργεια.
The last important thing is that we need to clarify the environmental issues that are going around the establishment of the aquaculture farms, because in the past and nowadays we have too many conflicts with the citizens related to environmental issues that are related to the farms. And of course, he has a lot of experience as a mayor, because he served too many years as a mayor in the southern part of Peloponnese, in Kalamata city, so he has a great experience on that as well.
Σας μίλησα με τη γλώσσα της αλήθειας για την πατρίδα μας. Πρώτον, ότι ως κράτος πρέπει, ή ως περιφερειακό κράτος, να ενισχύσουμε πάρα πολύ τα τμήματα αλληλείας με εξειδικευμένο προσωπικό, αυτό είναι το ένα. Να είμαστε πιο αποφασιστικοί σε περιβαλλοντικά ζητήματα, όπου 4-5 άνθρωποι στις περισσότερες των περιπτώσεων, γιατί υπάρχουν και περιπτώσεις όπου έχει δίκιο ο κόσμος, ξεσηκώνονται, μετά το θέμα παίρνει και πολιτική διάσταση και μια επένδυση η οποία μπορεί να φέρει πλούτο και να μας φέρει και τροφή ποιοτική, δεν ολοκληρώνεται. Αυτά είναι τα δύο μεγάλα ζητήματα σε μια χώρα όπως είναι η δική μας, της οποίας ο εθνικός πλούτος αυξάνεται από την εξαγωγή των ψαριών, από την ιχθυοκαλλιέργεια, και είμαι από αυτούς που τιμώ και το συγκεκριμένο έδασμα και το συνιστώ, γιατί πρέπει έτσι να κρατήσουμε και τις θάλασσές μας ζωντανές, διότι η υπεραλίευση δημιουργεί τα προβλήματα τα οποία ξέρουμε όλοι.
I talk to you by heart, so as to these two more important problems that we face, the employees' skills, and to clarify the environmental issues through proper licensing and establishment of the aquaculture sector need to be solved as a region, as a country. We need to solve all these issues so as to have sustainable the sector of the aquaculture, because it's really important and provide us with a really quality food. Given that also that the export on this part from our country is really important for the